Doug Karsch, Scott Anderson, 97.1 The Tickets, and we are from the Henry Ford Health Pistons Performance Center, and proud at this time to be joined by the general manager of the Detroit Pistons, one Trajon Langdon, who has just come by and sat down. Sir, how are you?
Doing well. How about you guys?
We're good.
Thanks for having me.
It's a different feeling this year, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think there's a little bit more known in the gym. With a lot of continuity from both our players, coaching staff, performance, but a lot of familiar faces in the building, which I think helps.
Well, it's been over a year now that you've been here. How Detroit are you now?
I love it here. It's still weird. I'm not going to lie to you. Just because I hit the ground running so fast, and even though I've had some time this summer for my family and I to get inundated in the city, it still feels like this is still brand new to me. But the people have been great, the city's been great, and we're really enjoying it.
Some business things I want to get to you with. First of all, contract deadlines for Duren and Ivy. Deadline tonight. Is there any update there?
No update at this time. We'll see here tonight.
Okay. And
Sorry.
Tell you what, if there is any update, we'll be here till 2.
Sounds good.
If you could come by and just let us know.
We'll do.
And Malik Beasley, is there anything new on that front?
No, definitely nothing new there. So, for his sake, I'm really hoping that he can get cleared, but obviously still under investigation by the league and the feds. So, for his sake, I hope they can figure this thing out and he can get back to working.
Okay, well, let's get into this team and what you have. When you have a young roster like you had a year ago and still have, there's always that question of who's poised to make that big jump. So when you look at your team, where are you seeing that just on the brink of happening now?
Yeah, I hate putting that kind of pressure on any player or two players, but our whole group put in a lot of work. Over the summer, they were not only in the gym here, but we had our staff flying out to see them whenever they wanted them. And when I say staff, I mean coaching, performance, medical, whatever they needed at whatever time. So we put a lot of hours in with our players, and which is great because I think we garnered a lot of the trust from our players. But they really worked. I think they got better. They know there's an opportunity coming into this season, not only individually but as a group. So. I think the pieces that we added really will help. But the biggest thing for us this offseason was continue, like you said, to allow these young players to continue to grow and get better and have an opportunity to show what they can do from the work that they've put in.
Looking at more of the bigger picture down the road, doesn't have to be this year or the improvement from this year, or from last year this year, but just the bigger picture. How high is the ceiling for guys like Asar Thompson and Ron Holland?
Yeah, the one thing with those two guys is they work. So they are going to reach their ceilings. I have no question that those two will reach the potential. That's all you can ask of any player that you bring in a program, is that they are going to reach who they can be. How long is that going to take? That's going to be up to them. And obviously JB and his staff do a great job teaching the game, developing the players. But they do put in the work. We think they can be really good players. I think they'll both they'll both be better this year. They're going to get the opportunity to get better, and they have the trust of their teammates as well, from not only what they did last season but the work they put in. Obviously you saw Ron in Summer League took a leap, and Asar has put in a lot of time, so him having a complete summer, a complete training camp, and being healthy now, I think you'll see two different versions of both players.
It's probably hard to answer this question right now with not knowing where you'll be at that time, but because this team now looks like can make a push in the East, does that change your approach at all, or your thinking come trade deadline time?
Come trade deadline time. We're in
October.
I know. What are we doing?
I know, but this I can guarantee. Here's what I guarantee. We're going to get 10,000 phone calls when the trade deadline rolls around, and I'm going to think back to what you said. But, I mean, last year, coming off a 14-win season, we weren't thinking buyers at the trade deadline. This time around, you could be.
Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking buyer either until about 2 to 3 weeks before the trade deadline, and that's what we ended up doing. So, for me, it's continue to assess and watch these young guys grow. Try to have an understanding of who we are within the Eastern Conference, and then figure out where we need that. Do we need a position? Do we need a skill set when that time comes? So it's hard to tell right now. Would I like to be a buyer then? Because that means we're playing good basketball and we have a chance. Sure. But again, we'll assess. I have a good group with me. JB has a really good feel for the team and what's needed for us to take that leap. But again, it's just assessing game to game. That's why I try to be at every game possible and seeing the dynamic of the team and the chemistry. But we have a good group, and I'm excited to see where we go.
Can you take us through the process of getting to the offseason and identifying the players that you wanted to talk to and then eventually offering those players to become part of the Pistons?
In general, or this past summer?
This past summer, yeah. And how is it different?
Well, two guys we targeted were our own players, and I said it pretty early as we would love to bring Dennis back and we'd love to bring Malik back. Tim was great for us, but I did want to see our young guys continue to grow, so I knew that was going to be a tough one if we brought him back in a different role. And so I think we all agreed that probably for him too, that probably being in Denver and getting that opportunity was a great situation for him. But Dennis obviously got a great contract from Sacramento with the starting role, and there's no way we could give him the same thing. And then the thing that happened with Malik was difficult late because we really wanted him back, and then we had to pivot. We thought that Duncan could fill in for Malik a little bit. Malik obviously had a historic year with what he did, but Duncan is his character and his work rate in here. He's the first one in darn near every day. Great for culture, obviously. Won a lot in Miami and was around a lot of good players. I think his partnering with JD will be similar to his partnering with Bam. So I think I'm looking forward and excited to see how he can help JD out because he's not just a shooter. He'll drive the lane, he'll pass it, he'll finish. So I think he and Karsch bring a different dynamic of playmaking, size, and versatility on the floor.
As a GM, when you're going into these conversations in the offseason, is it strictly with an agent? Do you get a chance to talk to the players? Do the players want to talk to you, or are they standoffish? They just talk to my agent? How does that work?
Yeah, there's a certain time frame where we can engage. We can obviously engage our own free agents and talk to them earlier. But obviously that July 1 is around the time that you can talk to other players. And if it gets to the point where the player is interested, then yeah, we'll have phone calls with the player. I think it's more important for the player than it is us. We've done our intel, we've done our background. I pretty much know the character of the different players in this league. They just want to know, okay, well, what is my role going to be? And it's more important to hear from JB than me, in all honesty.
We got a question here from a listener. Joe in advance sent us the following when he heard you were coming on. As a Duke fan around Detroit, what is one lesson you learned from Coach K that most applies to your current position with the Pistons? Coach K was such a great coach and a leader. I'd be curious what his answer would be.
Yeah, a big thing that always amazed me with Coach, and it was more after I was done playing than while I was done playing, was his ability to flush the results from the past season. He never – I realized in my years there that he never referred to the team the year before. He never talked about, we did this last year, you guys did this last year, weren't we? It's always like, this is what we need to do this year. This is where we're strong. This is where we're struggling. We need to watch film. We're not guarding. And he would compare us to the other teams in the ACC, but would never compare us to a previous Duke team. I always found that fascinating, his ability to flush. And he always felt like this season is one life. The next season you're going to have different players. You're going to have a different conference, a different league you're navigating. So he was always like, this season is one life, and I move to my next life next season. So I wouldn't say that I'm able to do that. But day to day, week to week, season to season, I try to be able to move on from things that could be difficult and affecting me in the same way.
Okay, with the Eastern Conference now, with injuries, Tatum, Halliburton, that feels like
you're excited about that one.
What's that?
Sound like you're a little bit excited about this. Where we're going here.
I'm not excited about other people being hurt. I am excited.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
But that kind of opens up the door, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's what I was referring to earlier when I said that our players see that there's an opportunity. And again, not talking about the other players. Obviously, what happened to them is horrific, and I wouldn't wish that on any player. That being said, you look at, just like you said, where the Eastern Conference is, but we can't take things for granted. We can't take things like, oh, we're just going to be better than that team. No, they're going to be hungry too. Those teams are going to come in with a chip like any competitive team does and say, okay, watch what I can do even if our star player is out. Watch how I'm going to step up. So those opportunities arise in those situations. Those teams become dangerous because you step in and you don't think they're going to be good, and they all come together and they galvanize in a way that they hadn't maybe before. But I think our group is in a good place. got some tough games that are gonna challenge us right off the jump. And I think like anything in this league is you got to stay healthy.
You earned a reputation at college, the Alaskan Assassin, one of the great nicknames of all time. You're a shooter. Still competitive? Do you get out there with the guys and shoot in practice? Do you have competitions? Do you get cocky? What's it like when you kind of take the GM hat off and the competitive juices get going? Can you still light it up from 23 out?
I can still shoot. I can't run up and down, obviously, like I used to, but I can still shoot. I kind of stay away from that because I'd like to take the GM hat off, but it just doesn't come off when I'm around those players, like in their view.
Do you get called out by them at all?
No, they don't. No, they don't. My thing is I don't want to go out there and beat one of my players shooting basketball. That's one of our players. That wouldn't be good for confidence building, and we're all about building confidence around here.
I'm sensing he's still competitive. He thinks he beat him. Yeah. Well, we appreciate your time. Thanks for being with us, and good luck this year. Things have changed, man. In a year, I can tell you from our perspective.
Thank you.
It was fun to get phone calls last spring. I mean, people fired up. So
we're excited.
Yep.
Thanks,
good luck.
Guys. Appreciate you.
Yes. Trajon Langdon, the GM of the Detroit Pistons, joining us from here at the Pistons Performance Center here on Karsch and Anderson.